recording. All right, so basically what I really wanted to focus on today is I get a lot of questions about makeup artists and why this business is beneficial to me and what kind of points can they use to tell their makeup artist friends or hosts or whatever why this would benefit them. So I'm just going to let you guys know how this works with my makeup business. You don't have to be a makeup artist to do this business. Obviously, I very rarely tell people I'm a makeup artist. My background is in real estate. Only because I don't want to put anybody off that isn't in the beauty industry that you need to be in the beauty industry to do this. It's not the case. You can come in not knowing anything about beauty and still make this business work. So that's the reason why I like to sort of put my makeup artistry business in my back pocket and only bring it out if I need it. So these are some points that you can use for your makeup artist friends. And I know, like I said, I get a lot of messages about, you know, helping people with their makeup artist prospects. So this is everything that I tell them. So this is how I run my business. So number one, my makeup business feeds my Arbonne business and vice versa. So my makeup clients that I'm going to do weddings for or formals or whatever it is, I always drip a little bit of Arbonne in there. They ask me why I use Arbonne, I tell them. With my Arbonne workshop, I very every couple of months I get a wedding from actually doing an Arbonne workshop. And it could be a skincare workshop, it could be a nutrition workshop, but someone always knows someone that's getting married. So for makeup artists, that's great. You know, like I said, keep it in your back pocket. But when people are asking about, you know, wedding or do you do makeup, you've got this big kit, do you do makeup? Just go, yeah, actually I do. I do makeup. Give her my number, or, you know, you get in contact with them like that. So they work hand in hand. Do not go and do a makeup job like a wedding or a formal or something and not mention Arbonne. Exactly the same goes for Arbonne workshops. So everyone gets upsold, right? You go to McDonald's. Do you want fries with that? Everyone is trying to upsell. So it's not a big surprise. You go into the shops and someone says, you know, instead of a small fries, would you like large fries or something like that? No one gets offended. Like my hips get offended when I go through the drive-through and the Macca's guy goes, do you want an apple pie with that for $1? You know, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I will. I wasn't going to, but now you've asked me, yeah, I will. But I don't get angry at him, right? Because that's what we do. We all get upsold. Going to do a makeup job, we want to upsell people. People aren't going to get offended, right? So if you're doing a makeup job and you're doing a powder or a lipstick and they go, geez, I really love that lip gloss. Well, you know, I sell it. It's $47 or whatever it is. If you want me to order you one, I can get it delivered straight to your place. If you've got an extra one in your kit, you know, I always have one or two carried in my kit just in case. But it's just an extra way, you know, and I'm buying that product at 35% off. So, you know, and normally with my host rewards, I'm getting it for a lot cheaper than that. So just having a couple in my kit is always worth it. So don't make it awkward. Don't make upselling awkward. You know, you're going to get makeup. If I went to get makeup at Napoleon or MAC or anywhere like that, I would expect that someone would say, you know, you got your makeup done, would you like a lip gloss? Or how are you going with mascara? Do you need a new mascara? Do you know you need to change your mascara every 6 months? You know, I would expect someone would say to me, you know, that's a gorgeous blush, you know, it's only how much, you know? So don't make it awkward. People are expecting to, you know, be upsold with something. So number 2 is a discount. So sometimes I'll say, I'll do little discounts, not all the time, but sometimes I'll get your makeup done. So whether it's formal or wedding, I say get your makeup done. It's $80 or $100 or $120, whatever you charge, and get 20% off your products. So I'm not signing them up as a PC. I'm popping them, you know, sometimes I have a really good lot of clients, PCs, that I say, look, if I've got someone, can I pop them through? Because they're going to earn rewards, right? So I'm like feeding their account with PC rewards. And mainly they're my friends anyway. So sometimes I say, you know, you got your makeup, it's $100 and you'll get $20 to spend at my website. Or you get them cash back and they can spend in your website, or you can say 20% back of, you know, whatever cost it is. If it's 3 girls and you say $100 each, that's $300, you get 20% back on products. So always, you know, you're not losing that much money. You're earning it back into your stats anyway, and you're going to earn commission on it at the end of the month. Number 3 is redeemable products. So like quite often, actually, probably every wedding I've done this year, I've done redeemable makeup. So I'll do a wedding, so whether it's $1,500 or $2,000+ in wedding makeup or hair, I do hair as well, so hair and makeup. 20% of your full total wedding package is redeemable on makeup or skincare, whatever they want to do. So I always give them a catalogue, or I send them a link to my website and say, you know, your quote is at $980. 20% of that quote is this. Please feel free to have a look at my website, kristenstewart.arbonne.com, and have a look and see how you want to spend that money. Can you please make sure your order is to me 2 weeks prior to your wedding, so I can bring the products along to you? And obviously they have to pay in full for their wedding before I do that, because I don't want to be stuck with a lot of product. You've got to be smart. So pay in full. So I always get a $100 deposit when they hold my date in my calendar. And once we figured out what products they want, make sure it's 2 weeks prior. You want a week's buffer. So it only takes less than a week to get the product, but you want a week buffer in case anything happens. You know, you really want that product on the day to give them in a nice, beautiful bag with maybe some tissue paper and a congratulations card or something. And you rock up to do their wedding with a nice bag. And isn't that nicer? Like to actually come in, and although they've paid for it, it's just like bringing a gift, right? So redeemable products. Workshops, a lot of makeup artists ask me, do I charge for my workshops? I don't like to, is my answer, because just like every other workshop, that's not what we're all about. It says my connection's unstable. Can you guys still hear me? Thumbs up. Can you guys still hear? Awesome. So workshops, I don't like to charge, only because with all our other workshops, we don't charge for them. And I think, yes, I'm a makeup artist, but at the end of the day, I just don't want makeup artists on my team. I'm not like, if you're not a makeup artist, you can't be on my team, you know. So I don't want to promote that, you know, I want to charge for my workshops. If I think, if you want to do it on a larger scale, I know that there's consultants that actually put the 20, I don't know how much the brushes are in New Zealand. I'm not even too sure on the price increase in here in Australia, but they were $47 for a brush set. The $47 with the brush set plus the $27 or the $31 in New Zealand, they charge for being a PC. I combine those two and I charge that for the workshop. So when they get there, they've got a brush roll here with a mirror with a few products in the middle of the table, and I can say to them at the end of the workshop, these are your brushes. You know, don't get them mixed up. These are for you to take home. At the end, when you're taking orders, just let them know you've got 20% off. You guys are already a preferred client. That was included in the price of today. So that's another way of doing it as well. So the downfall on that, and this is the reason why I don't do it, is $47 for a brush roll could potentially go on top of their order that they're going to do for that day at that workshop. And I don't know if you're up to this training in NZ, but when you get 150 QV worth of products, you get a free product. So you're potentially taking 47 or however many QV it is for that brush roll away from that order. So in hindsight, like if that QV was included in their order, they might get a free product. So it's up to you how you want to work that. I just go to crownbrush.com.au, not crown brushes, just crownbrush.com.au, and I buy brushes bulk. So I've got about 10 of every brush. that I've got obviously over time, only because I'm allergic to the brush cleaners or the alcohol brush cleaners, so I can't use them. So I don't like to use it on other people. I just give everyone that I do makeup on, whether there's 10 people in that day, I use a clean brush for everybody. And you're probably not like that. You might be able to use a brush cleaner and just keep doing it that way. But if you want bulk brushes, it's probably cheaper going to Crown Brush. But in saying that, be careful. If someone's really interested in Arbonne because it's vegan certified and our ethics of pure, safe and beneficial, everything from Crown Brush, you've got to be careful with. There is synthetic brushes, but you could get, you know, Italian badger or squirrel or, you know, any type of hair from an animal, even though that they're actually called vegan brushes. I don't know how they call them vegan brushes. It says no animals were harmed in the process of making these brushes. I don't know, like someone might, you know, that's vegan might have still have concerns about using those brushes if they are vegan. So synthetic all the way. Arbonne brushes are synthetic. They still work. They still blend beautifully. So that's with the workshops. Number 5, be a product of the product. So do you know what? When I first started Arbonne, my kit pretty much was MAC, Napoleon, Chanel. I used a lot of Clinique. And big brands I thought were necessary to be a successful makeup artist. I thought if I rocked up to a job and I brought something that no one ever heard of, they wouldn't book me again. Or my regular clients that I used to always, you know, go to and I all of a sudden change products, they wouldn't book me anymore. So what I always do is, like, you know, my base is Arbonne, all my foundations, everything are Arbonne. I carry all the Arbonne range, but I haven't gotten rid of my favourites. I've still got other favourites from, you know, NARS and Clinique and, you know, we're not asking makeup artists to get rid of what or don't use what you have. Always keep your favourites, just like, you know, Maya. I'm sure Mac's not asking Maya to get rid of every other makeup brand in Maya's because, you know, different brands suit different people for other different reasons. That's exactly the same as us. We're not asking you to get rid of all your products. But when you're talking about our products and you're at a job or a workshop, give your own testimonial. So my testimonial has always been the same, and it's how I started this business. My girlfriend, executive area manager, Kimberly Alley, sent me down some samples, and back then they used to have these little square samples of foundation and primer, and I kept it in my drawer for so long and I didn't even use it because I just had that. I was a bit of a snob, and I just thought that it just wasn't going to be good enough because of the way it was sold. You know, like, it's network marketing. How good can this foundation really be? That's honestly that was my opinion. Then I tried it, and then I felt like an idiot. But I used the primer and the foundation. I do Taekwondo, and I went to training. So I put it on about 7 a.m. when I normally get ready for the day. I went and trained. I ran around like a, you know, headless chook all day, like us mums do. And about 8 o'clock at night, I went to wash it off, and without thinking, just went to wash it off. And I looked in the mirror, and I looked exactly the same as I did 7 a.m. that morning. And it really was impressive to me, because normally I have to touch up all the time. I used to wear Napoleon stick, so really thick makeup, and I'd have to touch up through the day. But I didn't have to touch up, and I still looked the same and unpowdered, only just the primer and foundation for that, you know, that amount of time. So that was huge for me, and I instantly thought, if my brides can look the same when they get back to the hotel after their wedding as they did 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. or however early I did their makeup that day of their wedding, I've done a great job. I don't care what brand it was. If I could do that for my clients and my brides, then I was sold. So basically got on the phone to Kim. She flew down with Jodie's kit, because she had only just started. She flew down with Jodie Healy's kit, put it in front of me. I bought probably one of every colour, and I started with the primer and foundations first. It took me a little while to dibble in the, you know, the eyeshadows and eyeliners and stuff like that. But for the base, I was absolutely sold. Obviously, I've told you the whole story, but I shortened that down, you know, for about 60-second story, and that's what my testimonial. Anyone that asks me, oh, what's Arbonne, or what brands do you use, or something like that, I always say my first experience with the product. Also, number 6 would be the industry discount that anyone in the beauty industry gets, and obviously it's not that much. So when we're talking about brides or formals or any event makeup, with MAC we get a 30%. Some may get more, some may get less, but my discount was 30% industry rate. Napoleon was 25%, I think I used to get. And Makeup Forever I got at 35%, but the deal I had to go through to get the 35%, I had to send in all my business info and everything into the States to actually get that 35% discount. But that's coming out of our pocket. If you've done a trial at a wedding and they're like, yep, that's beautiful, and I go, okay, so are you happy with that lip colour? Have you got anything similar before you go and buy anything? If you don't have it, I can get that exact colour, and I would have to drive to Alexandria in the city, or if it was MAC, I'd go to my closest MAC counter, which was still half an hour away, pay for that out of my pocket. So it's my petrol getting to the shop, my card that was paying for that product, and then fingers crossed that they gave me the money and they were still happy with that colour on the day of the wedding. Because sometimes, and it was very regular, that sometimes I'd get there and they'd go, oh, actually I found this colour, it's really nice, isn't it? And then you're stuck with a lippy that they wanted for the wedding. Now you've just had to put in your kit. So there goes how much money of your own money that you don't need that lipstick, you've got it anyway. So I just think if we're selling Arbonne, how not only your time, your petrol, it's just easier. If someone wants that lippy for their wedding, you can go, fantastic, I'll order it. Do you want it sent to you, or do you want me to bring it on the day? Here's my website. It's just, it takes all the crappy little things that we do through the day, like running here and there for everyone and not get paid for it, takes all that away. Yeah, so basically what I wanted to do to finish this off is to do a product highlight. So my product highlight is the foundation, only because it's a really quick and easy seller. It's a foundation like no other, really. So I wanted to give you a few little sales points on how I sell it and what's so great about our foundation. I personally, if it wasn't Arbonne, I'd be using Laura Mercier or maybe a NARS I love the Aqua Lumiere and the Chanel. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what kind of foundation I like and how it sits. But Arbonne ticks all those boxes plus more, and price point beats, like just blows it out of the water. So our liquid foundation it has an SPF of 15. It's 100% breathable, and that is massive, especially for your brides that, you're not going to clog them up through the day and get that. You know how sometimes after a few hours, I can see it from a mile away on some girls, and it looks like their makeup's just going to slide off. We don't have that because our skin can breathe. We have no mineral oils, so it doesn't act like a mask like MAC. Once you do a MAC face and you put MAC all over your face, your skin can't breathe. It looks thick, it's too heavy. When you wash it off, it's like your skin goes, it takes a deep breath, and you may break out in little spots. That's because of the mineral oils and maybe a dirty brush or however you're putting that on. it's buildable. So I can wear it super light. You can put a pea size of moisturiser in it and just spread it on like a nice tinted moisturiser. It can be mixed with anything. Our highlighter is a liquid, tiny pea size, spread around in our liquid foundation, and it will just give your skin a nice glow. Perfect for winter when you're feeling a little bit dull, all year round really. But it's really, really nice to have that little bit of a spark in it, and buildable. So although someone might love the coverage of a MAC, Arbonne can be buildable too. You just put another little layer under your eyes or wherever you need it, like a concealer. Sometimes, most of the time I don't like concealers because Arbonne foundation has enough in it to cover what you don't want. So instead of using a concealer, put your foundation on and then another pea size between your fingers, and then I just normally pat under the eyes if I'm a bit dark under the eyes sometimes. It's thinner and it sits nicer. It's just not as cloggy and creamy as a concealer. If you need concealer and people like concealer, then use concealer. But I don't think with our foundation you really need it. We have an Opti-Light technology in our foundation. So I'll say it again. And if you want to do your own meet the product, investigate on the source. I was trying to think of the source. Have a look at that. But we have Opti-Light technology, and that just gives your face a soft focus. So you know how when you're like taking selfies and you're like apping it up and trying to like put a million filters on it, like I do. Well, that we have that in our foundation already. So it just gives that nice soft focus. Our price point is pretty spectacular. Like our packaging is a lot like Chanel. Our Pure, Safe and Beneficial, like our, compared to Aveda, I think Youngblood has a vegan. I think there's a few products that are vegan, but Youngblood is not a vegan company. We're a vegan company. That's quite nice, but still, I don't think it's got as good coverage as Arbonne. But our price point is amazing. And for $30-something for a consultant, like, it's supermarket prices really for premium Swiss product. So I think that's great. And once you put it on, and we've got a ton of air hosties now that have signed on, one point that you could really show them is it increases your skin's moisture up to 20% in the first half an hour that you put that makeup on your skin, and it continues to increase throughout the day. So for an air hostie, like when you're up and you're so dry, like I remember just, what's the flight to Auckland? I think I was on the 3 hours, maybe. But I got off the plane and my skin was so dry. I actually had like little dry patches here and here, and only from a 3-hour flight, and I just couldn't believe it. But that should teach me I should really travel wearing makeup, and I had no makeup on. So they're my points, and if you have any questions, unmute yourself and ask away. Has anyone got any questions? No, I'm going to stop recording.